Everyone, welcome to Cloud Institution again. So today in this video we're going to see one of the another AWS real-time interview question. Okay, today is on EC2 SSH. Okay, so in this video we're going to discuss about one of the very real-time interview question, which can be asked on EC2. Okay, so the question is, so we all know that SSH work under the port number 22 on Linux, right? So can we change the SSH port number for an EC2 instance and connect it? Okay, so this is the question. So basically, what we are deciding here is that, okay. So is there any way that we can change the port number of the EC2 instance by so by default is connecting 22. Is there any way that we can just change the port number that to connect to 23 or 24? Okay, so are we able to connect it? So if you wanted to connect it, how it's possible? Because sometimes, most of the times in a real time, right? So most of the times, people tend to change the port number of the SSH by default port number to something else. Okay, so which is like nobody else will be identify which uh, port number it has been assigned. Okay, so in this case, we should know that how can we change the port number of the EC2 instance and how can we connect it. Okay, so if you want to do that one, we can just go back to our EC2 console. Let's create one EC2 instance. Okay, so I'm going to connect it with Cloud Institution SSH. Okay, SSH port. This is the instance name. Okay, so I'm going to have Amazon Linux image. It doesn't matter. You can choose any other images as you wish. Now instance type is t2.micro and then key pair login. I'm going to choose the existing key pair, which is Cloud Institution key, which I've already downloaded in the previous sessions, right? So now I'm going to enable SSH traffic from anywhere. So as we know that SSH is going to be working under 22. Okay, initially I wanted to create an instance with SSH port enabled, and I'm going to log in with that, and I'm going to see if I'm able to change the port number, and then if I'm able to connect it. Okay, so I'm just going to give the configuration of the EBS volume as default. No, I'm going to launch instance. Okay, the instance is created. Okay, so now I'm going to connect to this instance. So by default, as you can see, this instance can be connected. Okay, so this instance can be connected using SSH, right? Okay, so now I'm going to click on connect. Okay, so probably I'm going to connect this on my SSH itself. Okay, but before that I'm going to connect it over here as well. One is I'm going to connect it to EC2 instance connect, and I'm going to connect the same thing in my terminal also. Okay, so here, okay, it's connected. Now as you can see here, this instance is being connected. I'm going to connect the same instance using my terminal as well. Okay, I'm going to Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to do, no, I have already downloaded that cloud institution key.pem here. Okay, so how can we SSH into the EC2 instance? Okay, so if you want to SSH into EC2 instance, okay, so we have to give some kind of a comments, right? So as you know that SSH hyphen I, so with the key name is a cloud space institution hyphen key is the command, and because it is the AWS Amazon Linux, you'll be using like EC2 user as the username at the rate and the IP address of this machine. Okay, so now I'm just giving enter. It's going to be asking for fingerprint. Okay, everything is good. Okay, it's got connected. All right, so now this instance is got connected, right? Now as you can see here, okay, let's go back to the instance again. Okay, we already connected the same instance here as well, right? So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to root. Okay, so because I wanted to perform some kind of a administrative tasks, so I'm going to root here. So I'm going to one of the files, okay, so which is vi/etc ssh and sssd underscore config. Okay, sorry, sssd underscore config. Now if you can go back here, as you can see here, so there is a port number 22 which has been commented out. This means that the port number of this instance by default it has been marked to 22. Okay, so because it's the default port, so this port number has been commented out. So I have just removed that, I've uncommented this out, and I'm going to change the port number to 23 or 24, anything you can use, right? So basically what happens is that if somebody is trying to hack your machine, with the 22 port, so we should not be allowing them to be able to access it. Okay, so now I'm going to change the port number to 23. Okay, so now this instance will be working under port 23. So after this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to restart the service. How to restart the service of the SSH? System CTL. Okay, system CTL. Okay, so restart SSHD service. Okay, okay, sorry. Yes, okay, START. Okay, so restart SSHD. Okay, now what happens is that if you can give restart SSHD. Okay, now I'm going to my terminal again. I'm going to create connected. Okay, I'm going to exit now. Okay, because it's already been connected, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do the same command again. It's not working, right? Because the connection is refused to this instance. So when we were connecting before, we were connecting it like, so it was just immediately connected, right? So now it is telling that this SSH connectivity is connection is refused because the port number is refusing the connection because nothing has been running on this particular port. So now what I have to do is that if you want to connect to, because we have just changed the port number to 23 right here. So now I'm going to change the port number to 23, right? So here, if you want to do the same thing, if you want to connect that instance to be able to connect from 23, we have to give -p, which represent port number, okay, and 23. All right, okay, so you have to give this. Now I'm going to give enter. So as you can see here, it's just hanging out for some time. Okay, so but previously it was giving some kind of output, but it is just still hanging. Okay, if you want to see the outputs of the logs, what is showing. Okay, you can just see -vvv. Okay, it'll show you that it's just trying to, it's just trying to get the port number out of it. Okay, but it is this connection is entering, but it is not working. So as you can see that the reason why it is not working. So do you think that I did done some configuration wrong? No. So we have done all the configuration right. Okay, but what happens is that we need to enable the port number on the security group. Okay, so as you can see, the port number is being enabled for internet only from 22. Okay, so now what I have to do is that go ahead and edit the inbound rules. The inbound rules change the port number to custom TCP. Okay, change the port number to 23. Okay, then save the rules. Okay, so now what happens is that this machine is connecting to 23 and is listening to the port, so it's just listening on 22 port, and then we should be able to and connect it because the security group inbound rule is enabled. What about outbound rules? Outbound rules is enabled for all traffic, right? So we don't need to worry about it. Now if you can go back and check the same command again. Okay, as you can see here, it is just work like charm. Okay, it is just entering into the SSH. Okay, so this is the way you can secure the Linux, because because we are running on cloud. Anybody can see that, check the telnet of your whichever the port is open. They'll try to access it on top of so based on that one. So this is we are not giving the direct way of direct way of accessing to our instances to the hackers. Okay, so you can also set some kind of a complex port number. Okay, some kind of a 3 to 4 digit port number, so that nobody can guess it. Okay, so they'll be thinking that this port number is for something else. Okay, so this is how you'll be so you will be changing your port number, and you can access it, right? So this is what it is. So this is the question, and you can see the answer. So they change the port number under SSH config and restart the SSH service. Okay, please make sure that you're opening the SSH, SSH port and the security group as well. All right. So yeah, that's it from this video. Hope this video was really helpful for you to understand some kind of real-time examples. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel. If you still didn't, and follow us on Instagram as well. Okay, so thank you so much and see you again in the next video.